So guys, I had an idea. What if we use updated rosters, updated schedule, updated everything in Madden 24, but made every single quarter 1 minute long? Now obviously this is very simple and easy. All you do is go to settings, change the quarter length to 1 minute, and that's pretty much it. It's actually pretty simple, right? Well, no, because when you do that, it doesn't set the 1 minute quarter length for all the other teams. So it's just your games are going to be 1 minute quarters, while other games around the league will still be 14, 15 minute quarters. So that's the big issue, right? So what I did was I went into every single game and set every single game to 1 minute quarters. So now not only are my games, which is, the user games here, 1 minute quarters, every single game in the NFL when I sim it will be 1 minute quarters. So that's the real kicker here, right? Is that it's more than just my games. And the reason why I wanted to do this is I wanted to see how much less will the stats be if the quarters are 1 minute long, because you don't really have a full-on long period of time to put up touchdowns, get yards, move the ball, and get all these stats that you normally would with 15-minute quarters. That's what the cool thing is about having 15-minute quarters. You have a lot of time to do a lot of things. But when you got 1 minute, it's kind of the polar opposite. You kind of don't have a long time. So let's go ahead and just see this real fast. So I'm just going to sim this season as we go through here. And even though that first game versus the Ravens-Chiefs game, that was actually a very high-scoring affair, which 4 touchdowns for each quarterback, kind of surprised me. I expected with a whole, things being updated, only being 1 minute quarters, that was going to be a very low-scoring affair. Like, I was expecting that to be maybe like 10-7 or something like that. But I guess with the 1 minute quarters, the defenses suck. I don't know. That's very, very strange. I guess you still have the 2 minute warning, but in the second quarter when it first starts. So that kind of slows down the game. I'm trying to make reasonings for why this is happening, and I don't think there's actually reasonings. This is Madden, and it's the most random thing ever. So let's just keep the randomness going. As right now, the Chiefs are 4-6. The Chargers are 9-1. And the Chiefs are 4-6. The Chargers have no Keenan Allen, no Austin Eckler. I'm pretty sure they drafted Jerry Rice's kid, but that's pretty much the best thing they have. Obviously, they do have Quentin Johnston. But still, though, okay, so the Chiefs might make the playoffs as a wildcard team, but they're definitely not going to win the division with that 12-2 record of the LA Chargers. So apparently 1 minute quarters is the self-destruction of the Kansas City Chiefs. Good to know. Oh, they're 9-7. They could be a playoff team. Okay, so they're not a playoff team yet. They're like right on the, crisp shot of the playoffs here. Let's see if the Chiefs actually make it. And they do not. They went 10-7 and missed the playoffs. So with 1 minute quarters, the Chargers are the best team in the NFL. The Ravens are number 2. Number 3 are the Bills. Number 4 are the Jags. Number 5 is the Jets. Number 6 is the Texans. And 7 is the Dolphins. Interesting. Cowboys are the best team in the NFC. Looks like the NFC for the most part is exactly what we would expect. Like, this is not really any different. I mean, I guess maybe change around the Vikings and the Lions, and that's actually pretty accurate to probably how this, normally would go. 15-2, 14-3, 14-3. So the NFL apparently is a lot better with 1 minute quarters. 12-5, 12-5, 11-6, 11-6, 10-7s. And what's the worst record we have? The worst record we have is 3-14. Okay. So let's just look at the stats and see how the stats look. Because with 1 minute quarters, there's no way that this is crazy stats. Still 4,800 yards. 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. See, I would think that would be crazy to say, but when you look at the fact that we just saw a week 1 game, Ravens versus Chiefs, and there was 800 yards scored with 8 touchdowns in that game with 1 minute quarters, I guess it's not that crazy. Lamar Jackson threw 44 touchdowns. What? Bro, what? I don't know what I just unlocked with using 1 minute quarters. But apparently I unlocked the aspect of Lamar Jackson just became like Tom Brady. 3,700 yards is really not that much when compared to the rest of the league. But that 44 touchdowns is absolutely ridiculous. Especially because, I mean, he lost Odell Beckham, so who does Lamar have? Like, who did Lamar throw 44 touchdowns to? Derrick Henry had 12 on the ground. So that Ravens offense, by the way, holy crap, they scored. Zay Flowers, okay, Rashad Bateman, Nelly. That's 44 touchdowns? Okay. Kind of crazy, to be honest. Yeah, as I was saying, though, yeah, I mean, it's updated roster. So Joe Mixon's on the Texans, sadly. Leads the NFL in rushing yards in those 1 minute quarters. I don't know how these stats all are getting accumulated here. Again, just seems like a lot of hoopla to make over a little Krabby Patty. Touchdowns, 16 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Okay, I mean, apparently even with 1 minute quarters does not matter. Still can get pretty good stats. And again, like I said, normally when you put it to 1 minute quarters for the settings, it doesn't actually do 1 minute quarters for every other team. I went into the Madden franchise editor and I set it to 1 minute quarters for every game. So every game has 1 minute quarters. Like, even though normally it wouldn't be 1 minute quarters, I set it to 1 minute quarters. So just a little side note there, guys, in case you're wondering. But let's just see how the playoffs run out here. Because apparently, yeah. This is an interesting year. 15-2 Chargers. Ravens, Cowboys, Super Bowl. Okay. How does this end up panning out is my question. So we got Ravens, Cowboys, and Ravens win by 1 point. The 14-3 versus the 14-3. So in the end, Lamar Jackson's MVP of the league and the MVP of the Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh is Coach of the Year. Von Miller is Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year is Lamar Jackson. So Lamar won Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, and Super Bowl MVP. Caleb Williams, Rookie of the Year. Teron Arnold is Defensive Rookie of the Year. Definitely tell me your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe button if you are indeed new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.